We are going to analyze an overhead squat, and the squat will be divided into two phases, the downward movement phase and the upward movement phase. So we are going to take a look at the anterior view first, and you can see the downward phase and the upward phase. So during the downward phase, you can see that my right knee shifts outward just a little bit. Let's show it again. I'll highlight it. So we can look at it again. Shifts outward just a little bit. And the muscle that is lengthening during this phase is the biceps femoris, and the medial hamstring is shortening as well. And the knee slightly moving outward, maybe due to one of these muscles not working properly, or one being stretched too far, or not being stretched far enough. Next, we are going to look at the right lateral view of the overhead squats, and during the downward movement phase, we can take a look at the arms and the shoulders. And my arms do not start off the way they should. They should be in line with my ear. Draw a better box. So they should be up here, and they're not. And this may be an issue with the range of motion in my shoulders. And my arms during the downward movement phase also fall down a little bit. So we can take a look at it like this. And then I'll draw a line. Then I'll see how far forward my arms fall. Just a little bit, not too bad. And this could be the mid-lower traps not being lengthened enough, or it could also be the latimus dorsi not being stretched, or being stretched too far. Okay, we're now going to take a look at the overhead squat from a posterior view, and I list just a little bit to the left during the downward movement phase. So we can see that just a little bit, and then I'll draw a straight line. The center of my body. Well, that wasn't really straight. I'll try to get more straight. That wasn't straight either. Yeah, that's a little better. So we can see listing just a little bit to the left. And the gluteus medius could affect this by the opposite side lengthening too far, or the same side, or in this case my left one, shortening. And as I talked about with the anterior side, my right knee shifts outward, and you can kind of see that here. You can see a little bit of the right knee more than the left knee. Out there. And it's usual that you can see the same thing posterior anterior as well, and I'll take a look at things from the right and left views as well. Now, the left lateral view is the final angle we're going to look at, and we can look at my back at the end of the downward movement phase, and we can see that it rounds just a little bit. You can see that. I'll use a better line. Round just a little bit back there. And if this were to be more excessive than mine, the adductor magnus may be lengthening too much and would allow the hips to pull forward and the back to round. Or the erector spinae could also be shortening, and this could also cause the back to round. And I should also be able to get lower or go down further in the downward movement phase. This is about my lowest point, and I will measure it to see what that angle is. I'm like 57. I could go down lower than that. So that's one thing that I would have to work on, and that if I worked on that, I could maybe get a straighter back and my arms could be pulled back a little bit farther. And then with this angle as well as the right lateral view, you can see that my arms start forward and I lean forward a little bit too. And we can see that in the right view, as I said earlier. And some quick things I can fix is to lengthen the time of my squat. So we're going to time start to end. So it's only about 2 seconds, so I could slow it down, work on my form, and focus on getting lower to the ground.